Tell me, welcome the star of Mary Poppins, Beauty and the Beast, and on the record, Ashley Brown. Hello. A true Broadway legend from the OG Mary Poppins on the West End and on Broadway, Mr. Gavin Lee. From 2018's Freaky Friday, or if you were really lucky, Ursula and the Little Mermaid, Heidi Blickenstaff. And that's Carlotta from The Little Mermaid, yes. He holds the record for playing Mufasa on Broadway. Give a roar for Alton Fitzgerald White. And keep that roar going for Nala, who has played it on Broadway and all across the country, Miss Kissy Simmons. And finally, beat your chests for Broadway's original Tarzan, swinging it on a vine, or walking, Josh Strickland. One more hand for the stars of Disney on Broadway. I hear that Disney has been doing its magic on stage for 25 years. What does that mean to you? What does it mean to be a part of the Disney on Broadway family? And to hear that number 25, does that sound about right, or is that just crazy to wrap your mind around?
Just makes us feel real old.
Well, I was gonna say I think it's weird because I'm 25, so I've been doing it since I was 1. I was a fast learner. No, I think it's so special that we've all had, been in different parts of Disney on Broadway, and that we all played a part in its success, and we were part of the family, and all the different shows that we were a part of, and that we've all come together with these concerts. It just makes it so special because we all do have our own little kind of story of being a part of this family.
Yeah. Changed with the advent of the shows that you've been a part of with Disney on Broadway.
I mean, I just think Disney has, because it's such a family-orientated company, it's definitely brought thousands and thousands of more families to Broadway to see Disney shows and then to see other musicals. So, of course, Disney has helped Broadway in the last 25 years become bigger and bigger.
Your stuff. Bye, y'all.
That was really respectful, right? That we all listen. And
Yes.
Thank you, places. Thank you.
Yes, we're really good listeners.
Thank you, 30.
Hey, just in case we need to run, you need to listen.
Yeah, right. So, something I am really interested in finding out from all of you down the line, when you spend 8 shows a week in a character's shoes, there has to be something, some insight you know about your character that all of us, big as fans as we are, you have to have learned something about your character that just you have lived in, that maybe nobody else, except others who have played your role on stage, have learned. Maybe going down, starting with Josh.
Well, lots of bruised knuckles. No, I think that it was really cool to play Tarzan because a lot of people, if you didn't know, I was adopted as well. So, I mean, like, the adoption story kind of came full circle for me whenever I was playing him. And so whenever I got to sing this iconic, great number at the end that Phil wrote called Everything That I Am, the story that is told in that song is just so special to me because it tells the story that I kind of felt my entire life about not knowing who I am, not knowing where I came from, who my parents were. So that was something that I took to heart every single night, 8 times a week, and used that as a way to showcase that song. But just recently I got to go back to Tarzan in Germany, play it in German, but it was a whole different aspect because not only was it a different language, but I had met my birth mother actually at that point. So now the story was different for me. It became a different feeling, which was kind of cool to come back to it so many years later.
Yeah, and for me, playing...
Yes. Now do that story in German now. Do that story in German.
9.
9. Playing the role of Nala for me was just, I really drew on a lot of my own personal life experiences, and being told of what Nala was, her character being strong and fierce and ferocious. Yes, that is all true, but when you can really dig deep and kind of draw on your life experiences and not be so afraid to be vulnerable to what might happen when you're singing Shadowland or doing scenes, it's just really rewarding, and it's a role that I'll always love, and I'll always love Shadowland, and there you go.
Well, there's a couple of things for me regarding Mufasa. First, it was really tremendous and an honor to play the king of the Pride Lands, and also knowing, you know, when I was a kid, I was really influenced by TV, because variety shows were on TV. And I always dreamt of being in the business, but I was very shy. But seeing people on TV, black men who looked like me, gave me something to aspire to. And playing the king in this incredible show and knowing that some black kid is having his first experience and going, wow, he looks like me. And that opened up possibilities for him. It's something I took very, very seriously and I took tremendous pride in. And also, Mufasa doesn't have a lot of lines in The Lion King. And playing him for so many years really taught me the power of choosing your words carefully. Because his words are chosen very carefully. And it's about how you say them, how you deliver them. So yeah, those were just two of the many takeaways from playing Mufasa for me.
I'll tell you a little story about when I stepped into the tentacles and played Ursula. I was terrified. We all know her so well and she's so iconic. I mean, so many of the roles that we've all taken on are incredibly iconic. And I'm a huge fan, and Pat Carroll, I mean, I bow down to Pat Carroll, and I'm sure a lot of you are fans too, and to step into those shoes, I was, you know, in my early 30s when I got the call to come replace the brilliant Sherry Renee Scott, and I at that point had not really held down a Broadway stage like that. I had not been in a spotlight by myself, and she is larger than life. And the expectations of people out there, I know, were huge because I would have had them too. And so I had to little like Sasha Fierce it. I had to fake it until I made it, because it was, I hadn't really developed my diva karma yet. But once I started playing her, I got braver and braver and braver as an actor, and now I take her with me everywhere I go. Every single role I play, she is there for better or for worse, but she has cojones. And like, so if I'm scared, I'm like, I played Ursula. I got this. She gave me so much strength because you are there in a spotlight holding it down, singing Poor Unfortunate Souls, and everybody knows the words and everybody has these amazing expectations. And I learned to make something my own and to not be afraid to like stretch out my own tentacles and just like be really, really brave. And because of that experience, I now take her with me everywhere.
Yeah, my answer is a little bit similar to that in the fact that I was very glad that on day one of rehearsals, the director said to me, you don't have to do a carbon copy of Dick Van Dyke, because I may have created the role for the stage version, but Bert will always be Dick Van Dyke. He's so fantastic in the movie, and so I was just very grateful that I could take Bert wherever I wanted. I wasn't expected to be him. And so, yeah, I just would try and explore things, and I deliberately, after I watched the movie once during my auditions, but then I deliberately didn't watch the movie again because we weren't doing a carbon copy of the Disney movie. We were going back to the P.L. Travels books and taking the best of the books and the best of the movie.
That's what we learned in press class.
We did so many interviews over the year where we say, take the best of the P.L. Travers books and the best of the movie and come up with a new stage version of Mary Poppins for the new millennium.
For me, I mean, I learned so much from playing Mary Poppins, and you know, I'm a little girl from the South. I never thought in a million years that would ever be my fate, that I would be an English nanny. It's just very ironic. But I remember what I fell in love with her. There's so many things that I still carry with me today, but my favorite was that she doesn't apologize for anything. She doesn't apologize for who she is. She doesn't apologize for what she says. She just is, and you can take it or leave it. And that's very like me, but I've even taken it further of just being like, just be you. And it's funny because once I got in rehearsals, I asked the creative team, I was like, what was it about me? Because I'm sure in my first audition I was speaking in a Southern accent versus English, and they said, you know, you just came in as Ashley being Mary Poppins. You weren't trying to be Julie Andrews being Mary Poppins. And so I feel like there was always an element of me not really apologizing for who I am, but I've just taken it further, and just even her just embodiment of life. You know, I still find myself like standing in first position at Starbucks. She's just still in me, and I'm just very thankful. I mean, she's a strong woman who doesn't apologize for who she is. I think we should all take that today.
I love that. Like, don't apologize, stretch your tentacles, choose
Yes.
your words, like, let's get some shirts.
Yes,
I like
life
this.
lesson.
T-shirts.
Right?
I know there are very dramatic ones coming here, so I'll go fast. In Ursula's demise, you know, there's all kinds of dry ice on the floor. You can't see it, and I've got the trident. Sorry, it's been a minute. And trident.
Fork.
Trident's the guy. Trident is the fork. And and Ariel, Sierra Boggess, is pushing me back. And you have to line up with a laser light that's like in front of you. You have to line up so that you back up perfectly, so that you hit a square on the stage that's like teeny tiny, and there are two
Ladies and
heels.
gentlemen, boys and girls,
We'll wait.
the D23 Expo show floor will be closing in 15 minutes. Thank you.
Thing you.
Proceed.
Proceed. So you follow that laser light, and then you lock your heels into two. Like there are these V's that your heels go in, and once your heels hit the V's, then there's the tech guys down there know that you're in place. It's an elevator that goes down really fast, but you have to hit it, or it won't release the guys downstairs to make you swoop down. And there was so much smoke on the stage one night, and Sierra was in a weird place, and I was like backing up, like trying to find the laser, couldn't find the laser, and I couldn't find the heels, and I kind of found one, and like we couldn't release it, and so I was like, this is the big last line! I'm gonna get you! I mean it! Just, and had to look down and blow the light away and put my heels in the thing and then, go down like a big dum-dum. That's my big story, but it did go down eventually.
I walk up the proscenium arch and I'd tap dance upside down. And so I'd have the wires on, I'd back on from the wings, and I'd sing a line with all the chimney sweeps around me, and then all the chimney sweeps would go to the middle of the stage for this big dramatic moment, and I'd start walking to the wall that they'd flipped out to start walking up the wall. And the stage manager would always give me this, like saying, we're good to go, the computer's good, you're good to go. If it was wrong, if it wasn't going to happen or the computer crashed, you'd get this. So this happened 8 times in 8 years, so not a lot, but every time it happened, I used to have to take the wires off on stage in front of everyone. A hand came on, and I had to hand them the wires, and then to the slowest music in the world, it was like bum, 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 da 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 dun, da da da, over the roof, really slow. I'd have to do this terrible tap dance, because I had to make it like, you try tapping to the slowest music in the world, it's like da 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 da.
I love that you still have your
That looks really good, Gavin. I'm entertained by that.
So, I'm walking towards the wall and I'm convinced I see this. So my face instantly goes, oh God! I've got to take so I take my wire off. I didn't see this, I saw this. So, take one wire off and they take me up. So I'm like, wow! So I'm going up on one wire, screaming into the wings, get me down! I'm sure I F-bombed. I F-bombed at the New Amsterdam. Get me down, get me down! And they stopped me, probably my feet were like 8 foot in the air, about here. And I'm hanging, and I really felt like I was a dead fly in a spider's web, just like this. You gotta remember, 30 chimney sweeps, they're going like this.
The whole cast is just sitting
Just looking and laughing at me. No help at all, thanks guys. So I pull myself into the wings on one wire, because it's so embarrassing, because the spotlight guy doesn't take the spotlight off me. So I'm like 1,600 people are like, this has gone horribly wrong. I yank myself into the wings, hanging there, and the stage manager's like, you okay? I'm like, okay, get me down. But then, once I've normally done all this slow-mo, I'm upside down and I sing, over the rooftop, step in time. And then everyone starts, the music gets faster, and everyone starts dancing again. So we're getting to that piece of music, there's 30 people on stage, nothing's happening at all. They're just standing here like this to the slow music. And I'm like, well, I've got to go back on then and sing that line. So I kind of shove myself back out on my one wire and go, over the rooftop, step in time. And I know I give the fiercest look at the spotlight guy, like, I hate you. Drag myself back into the wings. They finally let me down and I can run on for the end of the number, but that was just one flying kick that went horribly wrong.
But so there was one time I was going up the stairs and I did this whole thing where I never looked at my feet when I was going up the stairs and hoping I would catch every step. But one time I fell and got a rug burn on my forehead, nose, and chin. And the little Jane and Michaels cried, but they were like, "She's bleeding!" And I was like, "Get on with it, kids." Mary's got a scab. But I also had a flying blooper, but I have to say, considering we did 8 shows a week for like years and years, the fact that we have only a handful of issues is awesome. And I only thought I was gonna die this once. As I was coming on, you haven't seen the show, but I fly over the audience at the end, you know, sensible.
Right up to the balconies.
Right
Fabulous.
up to Mary's Bridge. And so, but I fly off stage right, so I love that we're all having to act it out with our bodies.
It's better that way.
It is. You go up on stage right, and then I go all the way across, and then my line switched over to the house lines, which was gonna bring me. Well, this one time, you get used to the click, and the click didn't happen, and Mary kind of went like gink. And I have a bag in my umbrella, so I don't have any hands free to like hang on. But I was still fine, and I was looking around being like, do I need to panic? Because you could see the audience like, whoa, oh, is Mary okay? And of course my job is to make sure they still feel safe even though I feel I'm dying. So I was like, okay, I'm fine, I'm just stay here. And then I started kind of dangling, and then all of a sudden it started dipping me forward. And y'all, I became like really close to the front row, and one layer at a time just coming over my head, like first wool skirt, pantaloon, slip, and now all you just see 2 little black boots like, ah! And literally I'm now nose to nose with the front row, and like a kid's like, Mary's dying! And I look under my skirt and I'm like, Mary's okay, it's fine. And then, beep, beep, they have to bring out a forklift to get me down. Nothing has made me feel more dainty than that.
Give it up for the stars of Disney on Broadway.
Thank you, guys.
Enjoy the rest of the expo.
Thank you guys so much.
On that.